Hello, guys. Here we meet again. This is Mohammed Mubeen,
And this is Masood Ahmed.
and you are live on our podcast for this week. And we have a guest to introduce.
So yeah, we have a special guest with us who will be talking on nutrition. So you can if you want and if you want to ask further questions, you can just email us on our email address which is in the description box. So yeah,
So,
how are you, Benson? And just can you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Benson. So thanks for invitation. So I'm so happy to share the knowledge of nutrition here. So briefly introduce myself. I'm a nurse at Hospital Authority, and I'm also passionate in nutrition. Yeah, because food really matters to us.
yeah, exactly. The food actually really matters because it is something that's a very essential part of our life. It's something that actually makes us fit and makes us more healthy in our day-to-day activities. What do you say about that, Masood?
Well, yeah, I think food matters a lot, especially for gym guys and for old people as well. Yeah, but Benson can tell you more, right? He's the one who knows a lot of stuff. We are just the listeners and the askers.
Yeah.
So yeah, Benson. So what is your day-to-day daily diet like? What do you daily eat, and how do you maintain your own nutrition?
First of all, why I would maintain a healthy eating habits, because nutrition really matters. So as a nurse, I saw a lot of patients eating unhealthily, and this mixed up with a lot of chronic diseases. So usually every day I will eat a lot of vegetables, and to maintain a low intake of carbohydrates, for example, rices or snacks. And of course, adequate amounts of water is important.
Ah.
Okay. So, like you mentioned about like day-to-day life that where people are actually they're not concentrating on their nutrition. So, like, is there a specific age group or something where in which people don't actually care a lot about their nutrition? And specifically if you're talking about Hong Kong.
Yeah, so basically, from my experience, people from different age of group, they do not care about nutrition. For example, teenagers, we always eat out, and we think that diseases will not come to us at this age. And for adults, they are too obsessed with their daytime work, so they don't have time to spend time on learning nutrition. And for elderly, most of them might have suffering different diseases. So most of the Hong Kongers, they more believe in medicines rather than nutrition.
So you are saying that we should take care of our nutrition by a very young age, like around 12 to 15?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing that I was when I meet doctors and they really say that you have a good breakfast.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by having a good breakfast? Like a large portion of breakfast, or like a variety of breakfast? Like, what is the perfect breakfast for a person?
How about we eat a lot of oily stuff in breakfast?
Of course, we never skip breakfast, and we should eat between 7 to 9 a.m. And most of the people, they would think that they should eat bread and also rices, and eating a lot of like congee, etc. But from my opinion, we should eat eggs, which has a high amount of protein. Apart from eggs, we can eat soybeans. And apart from protein, fiber is important to us because it helps us to going poo-poo. So it detoxifies our body. I usually eat vegetables every day. So in the morning, my breakfast would be a high amount of protein and fiber. For example, today my breakfast would be a sweet potato, 2 eggs, and also some supplements as well.
So here I have one question. Like you talked about eggs. So what kind of eggs? Fried eggs, half fried, or boiled? What do you prefer? Like what do you recommend our listeners to eat?
Boiled eggs would be better because when you fry, you would put oil.
Oh, okay. So you just go for boiled eggs. Okay. Now, in your actually the time actually you were talking about, I got one thing from you that you eat a lot of vegetables. Like in Hong Kong, in this typical society, I don't see a lot of people going to like eating vegetables. That could be a very big shift. How do you actually make your clients and the people who actually come to you make a big shift from eating like meat and a lot of like
Fast food.
yeah, fast food and stuff to eating vegetables? Like how, like, is it really difficult for a normal Hong Konger or to shift from eating meat into vegetables?
Actually, it all depends on their taste buds, and most of the Hong Kongers, they love meat. So it is because their the bacteria in their intestine tend to eat more meat and snacks. So by helping them to intake with probiotics, it helps us to increase their appetite in vegetables.
Okay.
So like for myself, if I talk about myself, my breakfast is usually consisted of like roti, which is like made of bread, eggs, and I usually eat like apple or a banana in the morning. So what would you say about that kind of breakfast?
Fruits are really good.
Hmm.
Yeah. However, roti has a relatively high amount of carbohydrate.
But like roti even has like fiber,
Yeah.
so doesn't it meet the demand of fiber for your body?
Doesn't meet the nutrition value, like.
Yeah. Actually, every food has good side and bad side. So we'll just evaluate. For example, milk has protein and calcium, but it has a lot of chemical materials as well.
So what I get from your point is that rotis have high amount of carbohydrates concentration in it as compared to the fiber. So fiber is quite less as compared to carbohydrates. That's why it's not preferred to eat that thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and like some of our listeners might be worried about like losing weight and like. So what do you recommend? Like most of the people that I meet around and like talk to, they really say that when you want to lose weight, go into calorie deficit. So going to calorie deficit, isn't it harmful for your body, or like is it okay to go into calorie deficit and lose weight?
Yes, of course. You can lose weight by not eating food, but it is unhealthy, and you need calorie and energy to support your daily activities.
Yeah.
So like what kind of advice would you give to our listeners who want to like lose weight and they want like don't want to they want to go into calorie deficit but they want to lose weight and they want to lose weight but they can't change their diet, or like they want to maintain a nutrition and a healthy diet but they want to lose weight, so what they can do?
Yeah, so it's all about boosting your metabolism by increasing protein and fiber and less carbohydrate, and also adequate amount of sleep and better emotions.
Okay, so how much time do you like recommend for sleep, and how does sleep plays an important role in fitness and in diet and stuff?
Yeah, losing weight happens during your sleep from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m.
That's an interesting fact.
Oh, that's a really good specs for you guys. So, so that's why sleep actually is really important for your fitness. So, okay. Now, like, so like, there's a like, for if I can like put myself into this entire scenario, like I'm right now quite really busy because now I usually wake up. I don't even have breakfast nowadays. I just go for like 2 meals a day, and that's it. So like, is that something that is recommended? Because if what if like if a person is really busy, he doesn't have enough time to like cook himself a good meal or a good breakfast, doing or and it so what is it not? I'm pretty sure that this is not recommended, but like, what if a person doesn't have enough time to cook himself a breakfast?
Yes, lots of the people, they don't have time to eat breakfast, or they eat too fast, which is bad for digestion. So I would recommend they can take supplements because it is a more convenient way to support their nutrition.
Oh, okay. So supplements can be a substitute for a good breakfast meal, like for persons who are actually really busy. That's what I got from your point. So that's a very good important fact as well. Again, for listeners, if you guys are actually busy and you want to like, are you actually running in your life, you can actually go for your a supplement diet, and that's something that can substitute a lot of things for you.
That's so true. So after like we're talking about about the younger population right now, but like what do you recommend to the older population who have like grown old and like they want to maintain a good health as well? Because as you grow old, you are just accustomed to like you're just like you get more diseases like the diabetes, high cholesterol level, high blood pressure. So what do you recommend to those people who are already in those diseases, and like how to like maintain them or like lower those diseases down, and what would you recommend to the younger generation to like eat to avoid such diseases in future?
Mm, I recommend everyone to learn nutrition because that's pointless if you're just relying on anyone, even me. So old people, they should have regular health check and to cure the diseases at early stages. And don't only rely on medicines because nutrition can solve the problem by the roots, but not just controlling the symptoms, which is what medicine works. And from teenagers, we have to be aware that what we are eating right now accumulates day by day, year by year. So just for example, I always eat garbage food as well, but I would take supplements and also maintain at least one meal eating at home every day.
Okay, you mentioned about eating fast food and the garbage sort of food. So like what I seen from the Hong Kong culture, like your young people usually actually like burn a lot in the gym, right? So what if someone is eating a lot of fast food and like garbage sort of food, that's the thing that you actually termed as. So someone who is actually eating garbage food and then he's hitting the gym and then burning that thing off, like is that thing recommended or in a nutritional sense or in a nutritional point of view?
Actually, I do not recommend because carbohydrate would get chronic diseases. You might get muscular, but what I focus is about what's happening in your blood vessel.
Okay.
I just recently had a nutrition consultancy with you, right? So like I had a bit of like high percentage of fat. So what is the like right amount of fat percentage in the body that a person should have, and like what should be the right amount of protein percentage a person should have ideally? Like
Do you mean that's what's the standard of
like
fat rate?
what's recommended? Like for example, if person has 10% percentage of fat in his body, so like what is the recommended percentage for a normal person, not a gym builder? Like
For teenagers from 18 years old to 25 years old, um, guys should maintain 10% to 13% of fat. And for women, they should maintain 17% to 22% of fat.
Oh, according to you, I'm literally excess on that fat level probably for sure. Because I haven't ever gotten any sort of consultation before, but what I can expect from my body is like I have more fat level as compared to what you said. Yes.
Yeah, so
The next time I'm coming to you for a consultation session probably.
Yeah, sure. I'm
Yeah.
I'm so happy to help more people.
That's good.
uh,
So
and apart from like nutrition, like how much value do you give to like good exercise a day?
How much? I usually jog once every 2 days.
And like once every 2 days, so it's like at least 4 days a week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. So like with nutrition, we need to like have good exercise as well, right?
Oh, of course, because it's can further improve your fat burning rates and also improve the blood circulation.
Yeah, that's good. And like there's like what I've heard that there's a bad cholesterol and a good
Yeah.
cholesterol, right?
Yes.
So how do you differentiate between those two things, and what should we eat? Like how can we know like it's a bad cholesterol and it's a good cholesterol?
Oh, that's a really good question. Actually, cholesterol are neutral, but it is produced by your liver. So when you are eating a lot of saturated fat and trans fat, so it comes from processed food, and your liver would produce bad cholesterol. But if you eat good fats, such as omega-3 or egg yolks or lecithin, so in this way, your liver will produce good cholesterol.
And like what are the benefits to the body? Like if I eat good cholesterol, what would be the benefit to my body? Or if I eat bad cholesterol, what are the harmful effects that I am having?
Yeah. First, good cholesterol can help you clear up the bad cholesterol in your blood vessel, so it can reduce the rate of heart disease and stroke. Secondly, cholesterol is important in making sex hormones. So if men wants to be muscular and also you know what I'm saying, perform
Yeah.
better in sex, and
That's a good point for our
Yeah.
male viewers. Probably they would be looking at it, like they would be listening to your conversation very closely. Probably they'll be following it soon.
yeah, so cholesterol is really important, and we should not treat cholesterol as a bad thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So apart from the yes,
No, I just have one
Okay,
question.
the
Like,
question.
it actually came into my mind. Are there certain diet or there's certain like diets or like cuisines that you recommend to eat to increase good cholesterol or something?
You mean to decrease cholesterol? Any good diet?
Yeah, to
like to
decrease bad
increase the
cholesterol
good
and increase
cholesterol in your body, like
Yeah.
for example egg yolks.
Mm,
So what other kind of meals that we can eat?
yeah. Also soybeans,
Soybeans.
and also to be honest, it is quite difficult to maintain enough amount of good cholesterol or good lipid in your diet. So most of my clients, they would take supplements on top of real food.
Okay.
Most of the people that I meet usually and or I talk to, they say that they can't maintain a good nutrition or a good diet because it's expensive to do it. So do you think it's expensive or it is just a myth
You mean it's expensive
to
to
have a good diet?
To be honest, no. I if unhealthy food usually comes from restaurant compared to eating out, cooking at home would be more cheaper.
But like in terms of ingredients, so if I go and buy a lot of chicken and no vegetables, like if my diet consists of a lot of protein and no vegetables, so would it be okay?
Yeah. In terms of ingredients, we do not target for eating a lot of high quality or organic food every day because it is expensive. I just buy vegetables from the supermarket and also just chicken meat every day. So it's only costs $20 for every meal.
I see. So usually eat chicken, right?
Yes.
So how about mutton, beef, and fish?
Yeah, so chicken has the highest absorption rate, and beef has lower, and the worst one is pork.
Oh,
And
And
a lot, yeah.
What about fish? Fish,
Um,
the white meat. I love fish, to be honest.
yeah, fish is like something. It's our favorite diet. Or favorite
That's why I'm
food.
curious to know.
yeah. So the sequence of meat from the best to the worst. First, plant protein from beans. Second, fish. Thirdly, chicken. Then followed by beef, goose, ducks, and the worst one is definitely pork.
The last one is pork. So why is like pork very bad at like absorbing like the cholesterol or something? Like is it bad for the human body or something?
It is bad for digestion. You can imagine while you are eating a pork, you have to chew longer. So
We can't relate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be honest, pork is more stiff, so it takes longer time to digest a bunk of meat. So, however, chicken and fish are the easiest food to be digested.
So that's about protein. And the common trend that I've seen is that most people, especially in Hong Kong, drink a lot of coffee.
Coffee.
And back in our countries, they drink a lot of chai. Chai is a caffeine
tea.
drink.
Yeah.
It's like milk tea in Hong Kong.
That's the
So, do you recommend drinking a lot of coffee or milk tea, or is it harmful to our bodies?
Yeah, of course. It can increase your risk to have osteoporosis, which means calcium loss. And secondly, when your energy relies on caffeine, it is not good for the metabolism of your body. Like my mom, when she stopped drinking coffee, she has the feeling of headache and dizziness.
Yeah, because this happens a lot with me. Like I actually left drinking tea since I came to Hong Kong, where was because somehow I didn't had enough time to make
Okay.
it for me. But like, but in the transitional period when I was actually leaving tea, right? So
Ah.
like I used to have that headache and
Mm,
something. I wasn't really boost up in the morning. But
mm.
like since like actually it has been like 6 months since I left it. So this carried off till first month, but like after the first month, like it became normal. Like now I can survive without tea. It's nothing really big.
Yes.
So
I see. And like same is the case for cold drinks, right?
You mean cold
The
drinks?
yeah,
yeah, the soft drinks, yeah.
soft drinks.
Yes.
Uh, hey, once I was like talking to you and you were talking about the energy drinks.
Energy drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you recommended me an energy drink that which I can't remember recall the name. So
Mm.
like do you like recommend people, like, especially those who are sportsmen, to have energy
Mm.
drinks or like just rely on water?
Um, I recommend them to do so. Actually, this just depend on their whether they want to perform better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if they want to be more concentrated and have a better muscle recovery, I recommend them to drink energy drink with a high amount of vitamin B because vitamin B boosts your energy metabolism while not making you addicted or relying on it. And even though I haven't drank this energy drink, I will not feel dizzy or headache. So it has no any side effects. And there's a fun fact among a lot of energy drinks is that most of them, such as Red Bulls or Monsters, they have high sugars. So that makes you feel energetic, but it's also makes your blood sugar level fluctuate and increase the risk of diabetes or blood vessels diseases.
Okay. No, since we are actually talking about beverages a lot, like
Mm,
how about we shift and concentrate on milk because milk has been a
yeah.
very important element of our diet. It has
Mm,
been really important element. But like nowadays, what I've been listening on YouTube and on
mm-hmm.
internet as well that there is some amount of lactose in it,
Yeah.
which is actually making people and people are actually lactose intolerant
Yeah.
as the place I'm actually coming from is Pakistan and the Middle
Okay.
East. This area is sort of less lactose intolerant as compared to some other areas. So is milk a healthy diet or is it recommended in the nutritional
I do
aspect?
not recommend it, never,
Okay.
because imagine how come there's a lot of milk supply. This all
Yeah.
about the hormones injected to the cows, so we are eating them.
How
and
exactly?
and secondly, milks, although milks has some calcium, but actually you can have much more alternative.
Like,
Oh.
can you just recommend some of the alternatives to our listeners so that they can avoid drinking milk and get calcium
Mm,
from other resources?
yeah. For the minerals or vitamins in milk, you can take fruits or vegetables. For the calcium, you can take tofu, shrimp, seafood,
Hmm.
etc. And for the protein, so of course beans and eggs.
And what about the calcium?
Calcium,
Yeah,
calcium is from um, spinach.
spinach. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And like, okay, this was the regular milk. There's like soya milk, almond milk. So
Mm.
what about those kind of milks?
Actually, all I mean, you have to see whether they are organic.
Hmm.
So usually the cheap ones are unhealthy. So lots of artificial chemicals.
But like, what about the milk that is really fresh that has no hormones in it? Like, there's no injection in it because
Mm,
like if someone from our audience that has like from even as I compare to like Masood actually has like also had like in the area of Masood like there are people who actually have farmlands and they actually
mm,
have poultry farms and
mm,
stuff so they actually have a big chunk of livestock animals
mm.
they so what about like those people who actually have a cow or a buffalo or something like that to milk and then drink that milk like drinking the fresh milk is that really healthy for a human being for an
Mm, yeah. Um, Actually, they can drink those milk because they can monitor themselves. But I can tell it is so gross. I mean, because without those sweeteners or chemical agents, the milk will taste really bad.
yeah
And um, And again, I suggest everyone to check whether there are some third-party certification behind the brand of milk.
Okay. Well, that's exactly really true because how these milk brands actually brand themselves is that milk is the essential element of your diet. It is something that is really healthy, but in the background when they're actually using hormones to actually feed their cows and injecting hormones in that, and that's actually impacting the health. That's literally the opposite that they actually advise us. So this is something that is a takeaway message as well in our podcast right now.
Yeah. So you usually work in clinics and or hospitals as well.
Yes.
So do you get any patients which have like bad nutrition or bad diet, and the disease is mostly because of the bad diet?
Of course, most of them they eat white rice for the past 10 years in their life, and some of them drink milks every day. And one another common point that they share is they never eat 2 kilograms of vegetables every day, and that is the main message that I think it is important for each of us, no matter your age or how heavy you are right now, because vegetables can really help you prevent cancer and many unexpected benefits.
So you talked about 2 kilogram of vegetables. You were specific about the number.
Yeah.
So like what I'm wondering, isn't the number varying with body weight and the age? Like if somebody's younger, he might need a more intake of vegetables because he's like doing a lot of work or he's running a lot. He's more energetic, right? And somebody who's getting older might need more, but in the person who are in the middle age, they might need less intake of vegetables. So
Yeah.
do you think it's a specific amount of number, or it varies from person to person?
For elderly, 80% of their diet should comes from plants. It's not only much vegetables. You can eat carrots, pumpkins, fruits. Yeah, and because these help them to detoxify better. And for teenagers, we are not yet having those chronic diseases. We can take 70% or 60% of vegetables in our diet. So the number really matters. So it is not only about eating one pieces of vegetables, and we should never expect that think that this can help us to bring any healthy changes.
I see. So, like, if you're talking about vegetables, like I'm coming from a different country, right? I'm coming from Pakistan. So we fry vegetables in oil,
Oh,
and then we cook it, and then we like make it a proper dish
Yeah,
and
we'll
eat.
make a proper curry with
Yeah.
full-fledged like oil inside it and everything, and we even add meat with the vegetables as well.
Sometimes.
So yeah,
And
sometimes.
like here in Hong Kong, what I have observed is that most people eat vegetables, like they just eat boiled vegetables. So what's the difference? Like, what is your take on it?
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not so familiar with Pakistan food, but just have to check whether the cooking method would include some oil or under high temperature.
Like we have oil, it's under high temperature. It's usually like canola oil or olive oil sometimes. So again, it depends on the person to person what he can purchase and buy. So mostly it's canola oil, and it's high temperature and it's fried usually.
Yeah, it's most like in typical Indian style vegetable curry. That's it. Like
Yes, more or less close to curry.
yeah, Indian curry.
Yeah.
Indian vegetable curry.
Yeah, actually, high temperature would cause the loss of nutrients.
Then like if you boil the vegetables, again it's like above 100 degrees Celsius, right?
For me, actually, I boil vegetables for 3 minutes to 4 minutes
Ah, I see.
only. So, even for Hong Kongers, we should not boil too long.
Okay.
So like as we both like spices a lot, and like so like what like some people like us don't like boiled vegetables because they are
Yeah.
bland to us. We are being honest here, guys.
For South Asian people,
Yeah,
spice actually
so-
matters literally. Like,
so that's why we don't go towards like those boiled vegetables. So how can you like ask someone to like change their diet, or how can you like persuade someone, or make the dish a bit tastier? I would say a bit delicious.
Actually, I I don't think that there is a really huge problem for Pakistan food, to be honest. I mean, in terms of the vegetables. Um, one of the bad thing is too much carbohydrates. For example, the roti or
Rice.
rice, and these are more threatening than vegetables. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I got from you. Reduce the intake of rice and more carbohydrates and avoiding eating pork. But like,
And avoid eating roti as well.
yeah,
Like, eat
roti as
one or
well.
two.
That's actually a staple diet that's really difficult for a typical South Asian or South.
Well, like
Asian
our
because-
diet revolves around roti.
Yeah, because if we don't eat roti, we eat nothing. It's like it's nothing in going into our like stomach. So,
There is a solution. Before you eat roti, you should eat a fruit because fruits or even vegetables, they help reduce the absorption of glucose. And another method is take probiotics supplements because these probiotics, they are good bacteria and they survive by eating sugar. So when they are eating sugar, your body will absorb less sugar. So that's the alternative while maintaining the culture of your country.
okay. Then, so like for you mentioned about the probiotics, like which meal actually have more probiotics that is more recommended to increase the intake of probiotics inside? Are there some different supplements that actually helps with the probiotics thing?
Probiotics, the main point is not the number, but the type and whether they can survive under gastric juice. Because if you take them orally, it will pass through your stomach, intestine. If all of them die in your stomach and they can't enter the intestine, so the brand and quality is of course important. And while eating probiotics, vegetables are important because vegetables support their survival.
Yeah. So like we were talking about eating a fruit before the roti, right?
Yeah.
So like once I was reading a blog and there it was written that we should eat fruit on empty stomach so that we can absorb all the nutrition instead of eating like what's the trend in our countries? It's like we have a meal and after the meal we eat fruits.
Yeah, that's a typical
That's-
man
that's
because
typical what we
that's
do.
what I used to do as well.
Yeah.
Literally. That's
And
my entire family used to do.
So then I read about that if we eat fruits after a meal, they're not that effective to your body. So what they recommended to us in the blog, it said that you should eat fruits on an empty stomach. So what do you think about this thing?
Yeah, you are right that we should eat fruits on an empty stomach because if you eat on an empty stomach and you just eat some roti or unhealthy things, and this would harm your stomach. Some people think that it's healthy to eat fruits after meal, but actually the sugar in fruits would further make you fat. So
see.
eating fruits before meal can provide a sense of fullness. So it can also reduce your appetite on eating carbohydrates in your meal.
Okay, and talking about food, I would have actually also heard from like numerous other sources and like like documentaries. I got to know one thing that you should eat fruits in morning rather than at night because is there a particular reason like because people do recommend that you should eat fruits in morning rather than in night.
Like it's similar to like most of the people recommend that go for exercise or go to gym in the morning because there are endorphins in the morning that helps your body to like absorb nutrition and be more active for a whole day. So it's the same case with the fruits as well. Like eat fruits in the morning after your sleep and not before you go to bed.
For fruits,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to eat at night or morning, but after 9 p.m., eat less. Your body has to sleep and take rest. And for sports, I recommend doing exercises at least 3 hours before your meal and or at least 2 hours after your meal. So we should not place our exercises too close with our meal, because when your body is exhausted after exercise, your body has to take rest, and if you eat and your body has to work again.
I see. Another thing, like we are talking about the meal before sleeping as well. So, how much time do you recommend us to like have a meal before going to bed? Like 2 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah, what's the appropriate time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? How about we combine it up? Like, what's the most appropriate time to have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
We should eat breakfast from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay.
Lunch between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Dinner between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. because this is the best period for our stomach, liver, and intestine to digest and absorb at
Oh,
its best
yeah,
performance.
that's actually really early because a lot of people wake up after 9. What? And like even for the dinner, you guys actually eat at like 8 to 9 or something
Yeah,
like that, and that's actually a very bad habit. So that's the best thing is that we need to actually change our routine and like
yeah,
eat much earlier than we sleep so that we have time to like absorb all the nutrition and then like digest all of them as well.
exactly.
And like we have talked a lot about fruits and food and stuff. I want to know about water intake. So, should we drink a lot of water in a day, or like should we have like usually it's recommended to have 7 to 8 glasses of water per day, right?
Is there a recommended volume of water that we need to intake?
At least 10 cups of water and 250 meters each cup. So
50 meters or ml?
Yeah,
so a total intake of 2.5 liters of
Liters,
water.
okay.
2.5
I mean
liters.
pure water, not soup, not soft drinks.
Oh,
Not, yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
don't
saying.
mix those things
Yeah,
up.
because especially for Pakistan food, you need to drink more water to dilate the
Spices.
sugar concentration in your blood vessel.
Yeah, that's another thing.
okay.
And what do you think about the spices that we have? Like we eat a lot of spices. There
Oh.
a lot. And what I've heard is that too much spices can destroy your stomach or like can cause it's an ulcer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you recommend to us? Like should we keep on eating a lot of spices, or should we reduce the intake of spices?
Mm. You should drink water before eating spicy food. I guess it is quite difficult to completely avoid eating spicy food for you guys. So just regulate the amount of it and reduce it progressively because it would irritate your stomach.
Okay. So enough of talking about Pakistan. Like, how about like we shift to Hong Kong? Since you actually are work as a consultant for like nutrition consultant here. Like, do you actually feel a challenge in like making people shift their diet? Like, because in Hong Kong, people eat a lot of rice, they eat a lot of pork, they have a very different routine that as you mentioned, they actually have a very opposite routine. They wake up late and stuff like that. So do you actually feel do you feel a challenge in like making your clients shift their routine or shift their diet, and is it more like a challenge in Hong Kong?
Yes, it's all about education because it's pointless when a cancer patient come to me. Nutrition is really good, but everything, nothing is perfect. I mean, nutrition is not something that can guarantee you to recover. So, it is difficult to raise the awareness of youngsters. So, it's all about how I present the health knowledge in a simpler and more persuasive way.
Yeah.
I see. There are a couple of myths that I really come across. Like one myth is that I don't know whether it's a myth or a fact, but like what I've heard is that we shouldn't like drink milk after fish.
Drink milk
After fish.
After
Eating
fish.
fish. That's a myth, I guess. But like, is there anything similar to in Hong Kong? Because it's back in my
okay.
country, we
Yeah,
believe
that's a typical Pakistani myth, like that's told by our moms to us.
like don't drink milk after you have eaten
Yeah,
fish.
these are
Okay.
So are there any such myths in
Yeah.
Hong Kong as well?
I haven't heard of this, but I would search for deeper, from different sources.
But like, are there any similar kind of myths
Oh,
in
myth.
Hong Kong?
Okay. Some people think that rice are good, and most of them claim that they're they can still maintain healthy with white rice. But it is because a white rice is converted from brown rices, and brown rices is difficult to chew because it has a skin, and the skin is composed of lots of vitamins. So without those skins, white rice only have sugar. So we should not eat white rice, and also we should not eat bread because it is processed food and with a lot of chemical materials.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't skip bread, right? So how about brown bread
Yeah,
instead of
because
white bread?
you mentioned about like brown rice, and how about like for people who it's for especially like for people of Hong Kong and stuff, it's really difficult to move away from rice. So like, is brown rice more recommended than the white rice?
Yes, of course. And also, white bread is not recommended, but other bread are recommended. But most of the Hong Kongers, they just buy from the bakery store, and those are completely destroying their health.
Yeah, because there's no concept of fresh baked bread in Hong Kong. In Pakistan, we used to get our staple bread that was made fresh. In France you get fresh made bread in the bakery. But in Hong Kong, it's really the opposite way. You actually go to the supermarket and buy some bread that was manufactured some particular days, and like, that's something that's very weird. In fact, in Hong Kong.
Yeah. So apart from this talk, so do you have so many recommendations for listeners to like go and check some resources on nutrition, or like do you have some books to read or some articles, anything that can help
Actually,
them?
there's no need to read anything because we are all busy, right? Just consult some dietitians, and also to at least to be aware of what we are eating, because we are what we eat.
Yeah, we are what we eat. Exactly.
That's a nice quote.
Yeah, that's a very good ending goal. But like before we end, how about we ask you like where how about we actually mention like give your reference to our listeners who actually wants to consult nutritionists, so like they can actually consult you as well. Is there exactly a place where you actually work?
Of course, you can contact for the listeners. I mean, you can contact me as well. I always welcome to help different friends. And my office is in Yo Ma Tei. So you can have a free check on your body composition. And of course, you can check on other private clinics, but I'm not sure whether they charge you a lot.
So it's okay if I give your like contact information in the description, right?
Yeah, sure.
If they want to consult you for nutrition.
You have your first client here.
Yeah, I'll be there the first try, to be honest, because I'll be coming.
He was asking me like I did I asked you for nutrition, right?
Yes.
So he was asking me like from where I can get myself.
Because even I believe that because my entire physique needs some consultation, to be honest, because I think I'm not getting a good diet, or should I focus more on diet or exercise? Should focus on both, but I don't have enough time, so that's the main problem. So I could be the first guy who will be coming to you right now.
Yeah, sure. Actually, many clients they are from different countries, and of course there are lots of Hong Kongers. And what I want to say is most of them, they have the one concept. They think that I am responsible to tackle their problems in a short time of period, and they are not willing to contribute changing their diet or buying some supplements. And the point is that when they are actually caring about their body, and I'm more willing and motivated, and of course I can help them better. So everything comes from your mindset, and I am only one of the nutritionists among every professionals.
Yeah. So I think that's most of the topic that we had to discuss. So do you have any last words, last advices that you want to give to our listeners?
for food choice, the immediate thing that I think that we can change immediately is to increase the amounts of water and progressively increase eating vegetables. And from this is not enough because what I've been doing is to encourage people to learn continuously. So it is I can I mean of course you can check my nutritional YouTube channel or different online resources. So just keep yourself up to date to health regularly.
Yeah,
Sure.
so that's all from our
Yeah,
side.
that's all from our side, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. And don't forget to like give us support. Your comments and your likes and your shares would be really appreciated, because we actually listened, because our previous podcast had like got a lot of comments, and we actually literally enjoyed talking to you guys and knowing about your feedback. um
And feel free to contact us. And if you want any other advice, Benson is there to help you out.
yeah,
Right?
so this is all from us. This is Mubeen and Masood as well as Benson signing off. So see you guys.
See ya. Take
Okay,
care, guys.
see you.
See you. Bye.